Hello everyone, my name's Dave, and this is the fourth video for a relaxing minimalist alien farm game I'm creating with my own engine using C++ and SDL2. In this video, I'm going to make it so that the plants start smaller then grow to their full size, as well as a bunch more types of plants and trees. To make the plants grow, I added a timer called timer growth and some textures for the smaller version of it. I set timer growth to last for 10 seconds, initialized the textures with smaller images, and made sure to update the timer. I also modified the draw function to draw the fully grown images when the timer has reached its maximum, and the smaller ones while it's still growing. You can see them growing here. I think it looks a bit weird since they all grow in the exact same length of time. Therefore, I modified the time to vary from 7.5 to 15 seconds for now. I'm sure I'll change it in the future, but at least it looks a bit more realistic like this. The next thing I did was add more plants and trees. I wanted to keep the code very simple for the time being, so I added an input called setPlantID. All it's going to do for now is change the name of the textures that are loaded. In the future, I'm sure I'll have to have some kind of a structure, class system, or similar that stores all the global information for each plant type, such as name, grow time, etc. However, for now, I wanted to keep it simple. I also made a few changes to the code that selects what plant will be placed to allow for multiple options. You can see the different plants get placed here. Everything seems to be working well for them. However, the yellow and red trees are a bit bigger and look like they're a bit too close together. Realistically, they should take up a 2x2 grid rather than just one tile. I added a function called computeSize that returns the size based on the plant ID. If it's 2, then the position gets incremented by 0.5, so that it will be in the correct spot. You can see that the yellow trees are placed with the correct offset now. However, multiple are placed in the same location because overlap isn't set up to detect the bigger trees yet. The main change I made to fix this was to create a function called checkOverlap. It represents the tiles that this plant and the input, for example, another plant or the mouse if removing plants, overlap, and outputs the result. The trees now get added and removed correctly for a 2x2 grid. That's true for both the yellow and red ones. You can also see the 1x1 plants still get added and removed correctly. One last thing I wanted to do was to modify the shadows because they look a little bit dark. I added a texture that will be used to draw the shadows into a separate layer. I also modified the code that draws the level and plants to be drawn into separate layers. It starts with the level, then shadows, and finally the plants. I created a video a little while back called Create 2D Shadows for Games if you're interested in a more detailed explanation of how it works. I'll put a link in the description, of course. You can see the lighter shadows as well as the entire result for the plants. They grow, move up and down, can be placed, removed, and have different sizes. There are still a few ways that they could be improved. For example, they can be placed on any tile, such as water, which doesn't really make any sense. They probably shouldn't be able to get placed on animals, rocks, villagers, houses, etc. either. I'm not sure if I'll work on the plants in the next video, or start something else like the animals. They would need to be in the game before the plants placement system can be fully finished. Plus, I want to get all the basics into the game before I start diving way too deep into any part. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.